And welcome to episode 18 of Control Alt Deplete.
18, legal in
Yes.
Canada.
Legal for some things in the United States.
Like adult relationships. As weird as that is.
Okay, PG.
PG, yeah. Sorry, Lynch.
Anyway, I am your host, Buckblind, and on the right side of the screen is our other host, Mr. Bioshock. How are you doing, Mr. 18 in Canada?
Good, I'm doing good. It's been a long day as a dog, but it's been good.
Yeah, it's been a short day for me. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are getting ready to. It is season 2 Eve. So
Yep. Hype.
Yep, the last night before season 2 starts, Race for World First starts. Got all sorts of stuff going. So let's jump right into the news here real quick, which is that season 2 starts tomorrow. I know they've got maintenance tomorrow. I think right now it is scheduled from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah. It originally was going to go like 3 or 4 hours longer than that.
Right. Yeah.
But they made it shorter.
I would not be surprised if it gets extended back to that original time. So just be
True.
prepared. You know, who knows when we'll be able to go in. We will see.
Yeah.
I think the European servers and Asian servers still have to. Well, not the Asian servers. The European servers still have to wait for the release on their end. A few hours.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it used to be. I think it's like an 8-hour difference now or something like that. Not quite.
Where before it was like a day.
Yeah, it was like almost a 20-hour difference before, and now I think it's like about a 12-hour difference, maybe a little longer than that. But yeah, it is a shorter difference. But yes, and all the difficulties releasing at once. We got first swing of LFR, not the rest of them, just the first swing. We got normal, heroic, and mythic all coming out right at once for the raid.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Mythic Plus starting tomorrow, so we'll get the new, whatever the new. We don't know what the rotation is yet for the affixes. I mean, it might be out there somewhere, but we couldn't find it.
Yeah, we didn't look too hard, but I don't think most people know.
Yeah, I don't think they've fully announced it, because I know they like to. A lot of times they like to kind of keep that a secret when they've changed stuff up, and they have changed stuff up because we've got rid of several affixes, have new affixes, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays. A new dungeon pool, all that stuff. New PvP season. I don't think you guys have any new arenas or anything like that, right?
What'd you say?
You guys don't have like any new arenas or anything, right, for PvP? There's nothing new that's been added.
No, there's nothing new.
I feel like
just the season start.
I feel like PvP hasn't had any new arenas or battlegrounds added in a long time.
They got a new arena this expansion.
Oh, they did? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Actually, mine came out in 10.5, actually.
Gotcha.
I think, I don't know. There's a new one, yeah.
I feel like it's something they could do a better job of, honestly. Like, I don't PvP, but I feel like they could make more arenas pretty easily. Because that's a small area that you're making. It wouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, I think it's just balancing what you have where on the map, because like some maps are just better for like say elemental shamans where they knock it off the side, and so it's just a matter of finding like a map that's balanced, and they have like 5 maps that are pretty well balanced, so it's like, do we really need more? I don't know.
Gotcha.
Like I'm not upset that they don't come out with arenas like crazy, because like the ones they have are fine.
Gotcha. Yeah, if it were me, I'd be like, why don't you give us arena every single, like 4 new arenas every expansion? But no, that makes sense. If they have to balance it out to make sure it's even on either side, that does make sense.
Yeah, you got to balance it around like casters and melee, and like some maps are better for certain ones. Like melee is better on Ruins of Lordaeron because there's like nowhere to run. Well, there's not a lot of AoE besides the coffin in the middle, so like melee tend to, like, if you watch like PvP tournaments on Twitch or whatever, you'll see that if you're playing double melee and it's their map choice, they'll usually pick Ruins of Lordaeron because it's not an instant win, but it definitely helps you stay on like melee.
Awesome. Also, Twitch drops are
Yes.
this is
Tomorrow.
I think tonight's the last night you can get the Ethereal Portal if you don't have it yet.
Ethereal.
And then tomorrow, the Blazing Hippogriff will be available starting tomorrow. So watch 4 hours for any channel that has drops enabled, which I know you and I both have drops enabled. We would like streaming, so you can feel free to join us on Twitch and get your drops that way. So get them out. It's good. It's a Blazing Hippogriff.
When are they gonna come out with the Rooster Man?
Never.
That's like the best mount.
When they as soon as you decide to take a break from the game, that's when they're gonna drop the Rooster Mount. Also, we have Keystones tomorrow. Don't forget about the new drop from the vault. So if you've gotten a 15 done today, you timed it, you will have a 5 key in your vault tomorrow. If you did not time it, it'll be a 6, or excuse me, stretch that. Other way around. If you time it, it'll be a 6 key. If you don't time it, it'll be a 5 key. So if your highest key was timed, you're going to lose 9 levels on that for your key from the vault. If it was not timed, you're going to lose 10 levels from your key. I don't think we even did a key this week, so
no.
I mean, honestly, for us, we normally have been doing like 16s, 15s and 16s. So this is what I was doing before I stopped doing keys. So
yeah,
at this point, not really a big deal because it goes from a 5 to a 2. Cool. So we have to do 1 extra dungeon. Honestly, I'd rather do it that way anyway. But yeah, nope, they do that because the new all the new dungeons. They want to make sure that people have a little bit more of a learning time to get those in on lower keys and learn some of the keys.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I did do our speed run last night. We finished with a time from level 10 to 70 on a monk. Did it in 8 hours and 9 minutes. So that, I believe, should be the fastest solo 10 to 70 time on record at the moment. Ross.
Did you find it easier than the Demon Hunter?
Yes and no. There were parts. I think he definitely moved. The monk moves faster than the Demon Hunter. The higher levels, it is still way easier to survive on the Demon Hunter. But I was able. There were a couple times where my health was about 2%. And there were at least 3 times where ordinarily I definitely would have died in the monk, and I was surprised to live, but it was very close. It was a lot of kiting and a lot of spamming my expel harm button until it was off cooldown. There's a lot of running away on some of those pools, but there were about 3 or 4 pools I think where I thought I was going to die and managed to survive. And then I did have a couple of deaths near the very end. One of them was on the shark, the big elite shark. I took an attempt at it because I thought maybe, and I got him down to like 20% and then died. So it was close, but I couldn't quite get him. I just took red sickness on that one though, because I only needed like 2 more quests to get done.
Yeah.
I was trying to do the shark because if I got the shark, then that would have given me enough XP to hit 70. Without getting the shark, I had to do like 2 or 3 other quests instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good run.
Did you find monk more fun than Demon Hunter? Like, is leveling with the kit and whatnot?
I don't know. I mean, I love Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
But also, it was a lot of fun to level on the monk. I would say, for me personally, Demon Hunter is always going to be my favorite. But I do think monk is better for speed runs, which I knew it was going into it anyway. I just hadn't played it enough to get comfortable with it. But I'll definitely be using the monk, I think, going forward. If I were to list like most fun classes, for my opinion, I would probably say Demon Hunter number 1, monk probably number 2.
Okay.
Like I like the way the monk plays. I like the feel of it. I love
Yeah.
the build that I run for speed running, where every minute and a half for like the last 15 levels, every minute and a half, I could just pull 10 mobs and say touch of death, and everything's instantly dead in 2 globals.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You can't do that in any other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's when you're pulling 50k DPS because you're touch of death on a pull. That's pretty fun. Yeah, Demon Hunter doesn't quite have that ability, but no, it was a lot of fun. It was successful. I'll be the video is uploading to YouTube right now, and should be getting posted to WoW or to speedrun.com in the next couple of days. Probably by the end of this week, they'll have gone through it and officially posted on their site. So we'll see. Hopefully, that should be the #1 time on there for now. Anyway, upcoming, starting tomorrow, as we mentioned, we have the Race for the World First.
Yep.
And
the start of the PvP season as well.
Yes. But right now, for the Race for World First, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We have Avarice, the new raid. I know we were talking about earlier a little bit like what kind of specs and classes we think we'll see. I think we're going to see probably Brewmaster Monk and Paladin, Brewmaster Tank and Paladin Tank. I think that's what we're going to see, 2 main tanks. Just my theory. Could be wrong.
And I don't know much about healers, but from what I've been seeing from other people, I think the top healers are going to be like Preservation, Resto Druid, Resto Shaman, those 3, I think.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I honestly don't know much about healers. I just kind of like think their kits are pretty good for raid.
Yeah, I think
a lot of AoE healing.
Do Shadow Priests have good single target?
Their single target is not the best, but it's definitely better than what it was, in my opinion.
Gotcha. See, I'm wondering if we'll see like a Holy Priest in the healer or a Shadow Priest, because they're going to want that priest stamina buff.
Yeah, so you're going to see a priest.
Yeah, I just don't know. That's kind of why I'm saying you're going to have a Brewmaster monk, because they're going to want the damage buff from monks. But
yeah, and Windwalker's not the greatest.
Windwalker's not great, and Mistweaver's not great. So I'm thinking you're going to see a Brewmaster tank in a lot of the raid comps, just to get that extra buff. You're going to see some Ret Paladins, I think.
I think with the melee being how strong they are right now, I think we're going to see an enhanced Shaman for the Wind Fury as well.
Gotcha. That would be pretty cool. You'll see some kind of mage. What do you think? Probably Fire Mage, most likely. Because they're going to want the intellect buff. So I'm curious which.
I honestly, with what I've been seeing today when I was doing a lot of like research, I think I saw Arcane performing better in single target.
Gotcha. So yeah, maybe we'll see some Arcane then. Because like I said, they're going to have a mage for the intellect buff. You're going to know the priest for not just a stamina buff, but also for PI.
Yeah. PI, you're probably Demonology Warlocks, I think, because their single target seems pretty good.
We'll probably, Evoker, we'll have Evoker for Lust, and probably since Preservation's strong and healing, we're probably going to see a lot of them. I don't know about Devastation Evoker. I'm curious if their target has been improved enough that we'll see them in the raid or not.
Their kit is a lot better now, for sure.
So
their talent changes is good, and everyone's making tier lists on YouTube right now. Everybody is.
Right.
And I watch almost all of them just to get an idea of what people think, and just kind of compare with other people. And people are saying with the tier set, I think Evoker's in that S tier as a caster.
Nice.
I don't know, because like its tier set, the 4-piece is extremely strong.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I would be surprised if we saw some Devastation Evokers.
Nice. I'm sure we'll see rogues, because we always see rogues. Probably Assassination. Assassination really good single target wise?
Yeah, Assassination is the best single target for rogues by far. Yeah, gotcha. It's kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say this is true, but I was going to say it's kind of like Arcane Mage single target wise. Like, they're just really strong single target.
Right.
But, that being said, it's not like they can't be played in Mythic Plus. Like, they definitely can. It's just there's more specs that are favorable in the same. Yeah.
We'll definitely see somebody playing Havoc Demon Hunter in each group, because they're going to want the magic debuff. They're not really going to. Vengeance is not going to bring the Havoc debuff, because Vengeance is not good for raids. Vengeance honestly, Vengeance has historically been one of the worst raid tanks out there.
Yeah.
They're not great for raiding. But Havoc will probably be. I know Havoc's single target is pretty decent, pretty strong still. So I think we're only going to see one, just because I don't think they bring a whole lot of great utility to the raid. So we'll probably see one.
I keep hearing the same thing. That not every fight, but I think like 80% of the fights, which is like 8 of the 10. I don't know if there's 10 bosses, whatever. That most of the bosses are single target heavy.
Right.
So there's going to be some specs that do really well single target. I think we might see Unholy Death Knight because how strong their single target is. I think Death Knight, Demo, Arcade Mage, Assassin's Rogue, they're all very strong single target. I think we'll see them for sure.
I would guess we'll probably see one spec of Warrior for Battle Shout. There's a chance, I would say there's a chance that maybe you see Prot Warrior.
I was going to ask.
I would guess probably Arms or Fury. I don't know which one's better single target.
Fury.
Fury's better single target right now? That's normally like historically Arms is better single target and Fury's better AoE.
Fury's set is better, tier set.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll probably see one Warrior of some form. I think I think we will see a mix of I mean, you might see if you've got a group that's got a Windwalker monk or is doing a Mistweaver, you might see Prot Warrior instead of Brewmaster tank. Other groups might go Brewmaster and Prot Warrior instead of Brewmaster and Prot Pally. Just kind of depends. I'm sure we'll see Warriors in some form just to get that Battle Shout buff.
Yeah, and I think we see one.
Yeah. Trying to think what other specs we got. Pally, Demon Hunter, Warrior,
Shamans.
Expecting. Yeah, I think we'll see a chance.
I think because I think I was watching when I was watching what you guys set up. I was watching a Shaman play, and they were saying Mythic Plus the Elemental's one of the better casters because it has really good AoE, but it lacks single target, where Enhance does well single target.
Yeah, and to get the melee buff from Wind Fury Totem, I think.
Wind Fury Totem, yeah. Plus Elemental can't bring Wind Fury, so if you have those melee heavy like Death Knight, Warrior, stuff like that, you're gonna see it in Enhance probably for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will definitely be tuning in as much as I can. Watching the stuff tomorrow to see how it goes. Once again, with everything releasing, I personally love it because I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff. But we don't normally get to see all the normal runs and the heroic runs. Now, it also means you're going to deal with the first 3 or 4 days, people griping in chat. Why are they doing Mythic? Why are they doing Mythic? Because you gotta get gear to go to Mythic first. Like, you gotta get ready. You can't just jump right into Mythic. I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2 guilds out there just try it, jump right into Mythic, and
maybe get the first 2.
No, probably not, because they did that for the very first raid. There were a couple guilds that went into Mythic right away, and they basically did like 1 pull on the first boss and then noped on out of there. Because it just wasn't even possible. Now, that was with the expansion jump. It's a little bit different because you can only get to like 385 gear. Now everyone's gonna have those guilds are gonna be like in pretty much full 424 gear right off the bat, possibly higher than that now actually. With the upgrade stones, I don't know how high you could upgrade stuff yet, but I think there's a shot that we do see some guilds maybe go in. They might be able to get the first boss down. And I think I will say my personal prediction is I am going to say outside of them going through normal to try to get tier pieces, I don't see these guilds, the top end guilds, Method, Echo, and Limit. I don't see those 3 guilds struggling at all in normal like they did before. Because I mean, it took them. It was taking those guilds multiple pulls to get down normal Razagath, and then heroic Razagath was taking them even longer, and then they were going to Mythic. I don't think we see that issue in normal for this raid. I think heroic, we'll see a lot of heroic splits because we always do. I don't think we'll see as many normal splits just because I think with the item level change from this tier to from season 1 to season 2, it's not that big of a jump. I don't think these guilds will need as much time in normal as they did at the start of the season. That's just my theory. Could be completely wrong. I thought that last time too, but and I was wrong that time too. So we'll see. Now, what's your prediction for the winners? What guild? Who do you think's gonna come away? Give me a first through third.
That's
I'll give you multiple choices.
Yeah.
I mean, because the top there's really 4 guilds that
are technically competing for first.
Well, so it's more Echo and Limit tend to compete for first and second, and then Method and Big Dumb Gaming Guild tend to compete for third and fourth. That tends to be just the way that's gone this last couple expansions. Pieces, I don't remember if Pieces is even still rating this tier or not. I think they are.
I thought they were.
I think they're still rating. I knew there was a couple of big guilds that stopped rating. Not like recently. Yeah, no, they did. They disbanded last expansion.
Do you know why?
Just because of how rough the previous the final raid in Shadowlands broke a lot of guilds because it lasted for so long. Yeah, let me pull this up. Anyway, give me your theory between those 4. Where do you think they fall? At the end of the race.
Okay, you tell me your top 3 and I'll tell you mine. I need a second to think.
Okay, so I am going to say I'm actually going to go with Limit at number 1, Echo at number 2, Method at number 3, and Big Dumb Gaming Guild 4. That's where I think they're going to fall. That's my opinion. Now, the only one I'm most uncertain on is that number 1 spot. Echo and Limit are so close. They're so close to each other.
I was going to put Limit first.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's what I've got. I've got Limit number 1, then Echo, then Method, then Big Dumb Gaming. But yeah, we will see. They're just they're getting. I know I've been seeing pictures and stuff on Twitter of the different casters and everything, them flying out to their locations for the streams. So that's going to be awesome. I know Method has Method Grant, Rage Darling, Mr. GM. Those 3 are all going to be casting at times. They got a lot of other people too. Those are probably like the 3 most ones. Deep Shades is going to be casting for them as well a little bit. I'm sure we'll see Sko casting.
I don't know who they cast for, but I saw that Nagura just arrived in LA today.
Yes, she cast for Limit.
And I saw Kalamazoo as well. Got to LA today as well.
Excuse me, Liquid, not Limit. I always forget they changed their name to Liquid. But yeah, everyone knows them as Limit.
Yeah. But
yeah, no. Yeah, they've got Nagura and who else do they have? There's a couple other big names that they have as well. I can't remember who all they have. You know, I love all the Race World First coverage. I typically watch the Method coverage just because that's who I've watched for the longest time back before they disbanded and rebuilt.
Back in the Method Josh days.
Yes, we're not gonna go into that. Yeah. Anyway, I will say regarding all that, I think Method has Sko and them have done a really good job in taking a lot of steps. Yeah, and taking a lot of steps forward to kind of make up for the issues that was. For those that don't know, if you want to look it up, you can go look it up. But there was some issues that kind of caused a lot of issues.
With their sponsors and stuff.
Yeah, just a whole lot of things that went wrong. And it's a good example of how. It's a good example to look at what happened with them. If you're planning on building a rating organization or any kind of esports organization, it's good example to look at what happened with that and say, okay, we need to take steps in place to have things in place to make sure something like that doesn't happen for us and that it gets handled better. And for Method, a lot of it was they just didn't have an HR, any kind of HR type experience. And if they had, I think it would have been handled a little bit differently. There are also a lot of behind the scenes things that I'm kind of aware of that other people may not be. Just because I know from other people that I know of that are within the Method organization. There's other things, reasons and stuff that happened as well afterwards. But anyway, yeah. Long story short, I do think that SCO has done a really good job of trying to repair that and fix the issues that they had and ensure that they don't have those kinds of issues again. I think they've really done a really good job of that. They've got a lot of stuff going on for them that's really good.
Yeah, because it was looking pretty grim there for a while.
Yeah. I mean, on that same subject, I don't know if you saw last raid tier. I think it was right during the middle of Race for World First, when what's his name? It was Liquid's one of their casters. They had, and he's not really affiliated with Liquid, but he was casting it for it. Gosh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he literally got removed from the casting in the middle of the Race for World First race.
Oh, really?
Yes, like they were on commercial break and they come back and he was no longer there. I cannot remember the guy's name now for the life of me. He was super popular. Rich Campbell. That's what it was.
Rich.
Yeah. No, some stuff came out literally during the middle of the Race for World First race, and he no longer does casting. Anyway, so moving on to the happier, more light subject. Yes, so we have. So I think Echo and Limit are going to be competing, or Echo and Liquid will be competing for that first spot.
Yeah.
I do really want to see Method perform well. I would love to see Method be able to jump up into that top 2 spot and actually compete for that first spot. They're still just a little bit behind right now, I think. They're getting up there though. I really like what they've done. Corella is one of their top players. She's one of the top in the world. She's been a key part of their group. And it was unfortunate. This is the kind of unfortunate thing that happened during Race for World First. During Vault of the Incarnates, she never got her loot to drop, didn't get the bow to drop, and she couldn't get a good bow, and so she ended up sitting out the entire progression because she never got the loot. She was trying the entire time, doing normal splits, heroic splits, and Mythic Plus, trying to get a bow, and just couldn't get it, and so it just never worked out, which is unfortunate because she's one of their top players out over there.
Right.
I know they got Fragments. I think he's still with them. He came back for this past tier. It was really fun watching him play Havoc Demon Hunter. I was loving it because he's a Havoc player. So I'm looking forward to see who will end up playing Havoc. Because I know Cruella has played Havoc, and Fragments has played Havoc, and I always love watching their points of view during the Race for World First.
Oh, I gotta sneeze, but I went away. I hate my life. Oh.
Anyway, so we now have a week under our belt with 10.1. Mm-hmm. So, what are your thoughts, Bio, on the new zone, the Altus Cavern, or whatever it's called, the caverns,
Zarlek or whatever.
Zarlek caverns, yeah.
It is called, and I can't see it. Oh yeah, Zarlek Cavern.
Zarlek Cavern. What's your impression after the 1 week of that?
It's a really cool looking zone. I like it. It's got I didn't think it was gonna have the whole castle thing layer underneath the cave there, which was pretty cool, where the new raid is.
Right.
One thing I did like, just talking about campaign wise, is that you could do the first 4 chapters this week, and I did all 4 on my alt in just over an hour, so it's relatively quick.
Right.
So you're not wasting hours and hours of the campaign. And the campaign gear you can get for the mail, cloth, plate, leather stuff is, I think, for most part, for almost all of them, look pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the Hunter one.
Yeah, and and the upgrade system is like for using the flight stones. You think it would cost a lot to upgrade gear to 398, but it's like 100 flight stones, 150 flight stones to upgrade like a piece from 1 to 8 with just the flight stones.
Right.
So that's pretty cool for people to catch up, because I think me and you did like the campaign and the dailies, and we had like 2,000.
Yeah, I know. I had to go and spend some because I capped out, which
Yeah,
we'll get into. We'll get
which
into
is
that whole
good.
system a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
cap out, you can spend it, and then you
and get
keep
more.
on get more. Yeah, it's not like you can only get 2,000 per week.
Yeah,
That's the maximum you
so
can have on you.
that's kind of cool that they didn't make it super expensive and grindy. Like
Right.
they made it relatively easy. Um, so that's cool, and you'll, if you have another campaign and you don't know yet, you get a full set of gear from the campaign. Like all the pieces, because it goes for the tier, right? The whole campaign. So you get like a full set, and it's like 377 or something. We upgraded 398 really easily, so you can get like a full 398 set in like a couple hours, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, the zone's cool. The campaign's pretty cool too. The dailies I've only done a little bit, and they're dailies, they're whatever. They're not. Some of them are kind of interesting, like the snail race.
Yeah, the snail race that you were sabotaging on accident. so
Yeah,
so
it was
so
fun.
this there's a quest in there with a snail race, and
Yeah,
you are supposed to go and grab a
certain
it's
food.
like a treat. Yes, treats for the snail, and there's a specific snail for this quest that you're supposed to help that snail throw treats out to make it get ahead of everyone else. And so I went and I grabbed a treat for that snail, and Bio
I
went
just grabbed the first one that I saw.
and so he grabbed the wrong treat, and we're throwing our treats down, and the snail is like jumping forward, but then there's another snail that's sticking right with him, and we're like, oh man, that one's gonna beat him. We can't get him. Oh, we gotta. Oh, we're come on. And to be fair, our snail, well, my snail, because you didn't even actually have the quest set up yet because you forgot to grab the food, and that was step one of the quest. But but the snail that I needed to win the race ended up barely winning, but it was close and it took forever. And then that's when Bio realized the quest didn't complete for me. I didn't get credit. And I look and I go, because you were throwing the wrong food. So he did it again, and I still had the food. And man, the second time we were both throwing the right treats. It was just cruise. He blew him. I mean, he was almost half. He was like literally the distance of half the track was he was ahead of him.
Yeah.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of agree. I like the zone a lot. The quests are pretty good. The only issue that I had so far, and it's just probably because it's early on and they're still getting some tuning on some of the world quests and stuff. So I went yesterday. In the morning, not yesterday, today. Gosh, it's yesterday me because I slept. But this morning, I was jumped on. I was like, I'll do some world quests in the new zone. And I go to do the world quest, and it's some snail quest. You're supposed to grab a shell or some treats, something you can just do, and throw at these snails, and then they drop some piece of some kind of thing that you're supposed to grab and pick up and collect. Whatever. The issue was that, and this is just a tuning issue that they can easily fix, and it's always a frustrating thing at the start of the patch. The issue is that the treat that you grabbed, there were tons of treats around. There were about 1 or 2 snails usually near you, and once you throw it, it drops the thing. However, only one person can grab the thing, and then the thing is gone, and the snail is no longer available to throw stuff at it, and that's it. Which is fine, unless there's 30 people there trying to do the world quest, and each of you can only do one at a time, and you need to get 8 of them. And it's not shared. There's no sharing whatsoever. It was so messed up. Like literally, I was there for about 20 minutes trying to do it, and I got 1, and then I just stopped and logged off and did other stuff. So issues like that can happen early on. It won't be so much of an issue in a couple weeks. Those quests will be easy to do and fine or whatever. But yeah, it's something Blizzard needs to get a little bit better at is respawn rates and making stuff more shareable without having to be in a group. Because like that quest was a badly designed quest for the way it currently works. Sure, probably not this week, but probably the week after next, once Race for World First is over, we'll probably have a hot fix to it and get it fixed. But right now their focus isn't on that stuff. It's on race. Right now their focus is 100% on raid. That's all they're looking at right now, and Mythic Plus and PvP. Probably not even so much PvP, honestly. Probably more raid, and then secondary is Mythic Plus, and then they'll worry about everything else in a couple weeks. That's pretty much it. They're gonna raid is always their priority during the very first week of a patch because they're trying to make sure tuning is right. They're going to be watching Race for World first. I'm sure they have a whole team of people dedicated to just watching and seeing what's going on and tracking everything, making sure it's going correctly. And then they'll also track pretty closely Mythic Plus to make sure there's no big bugs and tuning issues there. They need to fix right away, but yeah. World quests and stuff kind of take a back burner temporarily until the race is over, and then we'll start fixing spawn rates. You might see a hot fix where like if it's actually just like a kill 15 of these and they just aren't spawning fast, they'll probably do like a rate increase on those, which is good. But for now, I think the zone's pretty good. I like the layout. I love the look of it. It looks really cool. I love flying into the zone. It looks really neat. When you fly into the zone, you're going through the cavern and everything. It's got, I guess the whole zone is split up into 5 different areas, 5 different zones technically. And I guess from what I was reading earlier today is the different world events and the rares in those zones. Basically, there's one zone on the left. I can't remember what it's called, but it's always active. It's like Caldera, I think is what it's called. That zone is always active. And then the other 4 zones are on a rotation. I don't know if it's a daily rotation or not, but I think it's a clockwise rotation, maybe a counterclockwise rotation. I don't remember what they said. I have to look at it again. But it's a rotation where 3 of those 4 zones are active, and then 1 is inactive. And I think each day it rotates which one is inactive.
Right.
And then you have all the different world events and rares that'll be going on within those zones. So there's a lot of stuff to do. There's plenty of things to do. Kill all the rares. These rares, I believe, are limited to 1 drop per day. I don't think it's like it's not like Forbidden Reach. I believe your loot locked after getting them. But no, I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. I know starting tomorrow, we've got Chapter 5 and 6 will be available for the campaign. And they once you complete those, you should get the Slithering Drake, whatever it's called, the new dragon riding mounts for this patch.
Okay.
So we'll be able to get those tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts you have on the new content so far?
It's good. I'm looking forward to the rest of the campaign to see the story because it was pretty good.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the Mythic Plus season, and for PvP, I think it's all looking very good. I think they're doing a really good job of balancing classes so far this expansion, and I've been really happy with that because there's always going to be a cookie cutter spec for every spec, but you could play other specs and change talents around and still do good.
Right.
You know, so I think that's good for the game. I'm just happy that that this season's starting because I'm looking forward to doing PvP again. On top of Mythic Plus, obviously, but I'm just happy with it so far. I'm kind of excited to watch the Race for World first to see the raid because the raid bosses look pretty cool. The cinematics we got when we were going through the campaign and starting the zone were pretty cool. Yeah, so I think it's going in a good direction.
Yeah, I am looking forward to finding out which black dragon gets corrupted by this.
Oh yes,
because it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's gonna happen. Yeah. Come on, it's gonna happen.
And my guess is it's gonna be the second last boss of the expansion.
Right.
It's gonna be Abyssian. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be one of three. It's
Be...
gonna be Wrathion, Abyssian, or Ebonhorn.
Or, what about
Or Sibelian? I mean,
Sibelian.
yeah,
Sibelian.
Ebonhorn is Abyssian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Was Sibelian, not Ebonhorn.
Sibelian in the campaign, if you haven't done it, Sibelian gets hit with some of the Shadow Flame or whatever, but then you help cleanse him. But who knows if it affected his mind or like. Yeah. So we'll see, but I don't know if that'd be too obvious for them to go to him at this point. I don't know, but it's possible.
So I mean, if we're just a little story dive real quick, if we're gonna look at who is the most likely to get corrupted,
it's Sibelian.
I think it's Wrathion, because he's got the same arrogance that Deathwing kind of had. I think he is the more likely and the most susceptible to it. But because he's the most susceptible to it, also maybe means he'll be the most guarded against it.
Right.
So, that could open up for Sibelian to get corrupted, or even Abyssian. I personally, my vote, it's not going to happen, I don't think. My vote is make Abyssian the Black Dragonflight. I think that dude's earned it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's the smartest choice. He's the wisest and most patient, and like just he's got himself together. Whereas Wrathion and Sibelian,
Wrathion's a child.
Yeah, Wrathion is really rash and makes quick to snap decisions.
He's very impulsive.
Sibelian is much more patient, but also kind of stoic and old school, and I think has a little bit of arrogance in his own way. I think where he kind of feels entitled to it because of his history. So I don't know. I think both of those two are the more susceptible to it, which means it's probably going to be Abyssian that gets corrupted. Yeah, I can see arguments for all three becoming corrupted at some point, and all three becoming at some point. I think that, to me, that has been the most interesting part of the lore and story so far for this expansion is the Black Dragonflight. But my dragon stuff, I've been getting all like Black Dragonflight type gear and Black Dragonflight armor and stuff like that for my dragon. Like that's what I want. I want to be a Black Dragon.
Right.
Anyway, moving on, we want to dive into the upgrade system. That is probably the biggest change going into this patch.
I touched on it just briefly, but that was the tip of the iceberg.
So, Valor, for like Mythic Plus, Valor, gone. Valor is not a thing. And instead, it's going to kind of work, in my opinion, it sounds like it's similar to how upgrading profession gear worked in Season 1. That's kind of how they're going to make the upgrading all gear work. So basically, almost any gear is going to be upgradable, and we've already seen it. We've gotten a lot of upgradable gear just from the campaign that we did with last week's release. So you have multiple layers of items that you get for the gear. So I'm going to break this down here. We've got flight stones. There's two standard types. There's flight stones, and then there's crests, the Shadow Flame crest. So flight stones you get from pretty much every single little thing that you do. I mean, you're going to have an abundance of flight stones. Like I said, we capped out at 2,000 already, and then with flight stones, if you hit 2,000 again, you can go and spend them, and then you can just keep gaining more. It's not that there's a weekly cap of flight stones. It's just that you can only have 2,000 at a time. Now, then the crest, there are 4 different types of crest. So we're going to start with the Whelpling Shadow Flame crest. Basically, those are the easiest ones to get. You're going to get Whelpling Shadow Flame crest from the raid bosses in Raid Finder, Mythic Plus dungeons for level 5 and lower, world quests, treasures, and other activities. You're going to get fragments as well, which 15 fragments can be turned into 1 crest. There's also a vendor in Loam where you can buy fragments from each week. There's a certain number you can buy each week for the first 2 difficulties of this Shadowflame Crest. So the first one is Whelpling. Those are used for like, hang on, those are used for the earlier level. So there are 5 different levels of or types of gear. There's Explorer gear, there's Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, and Hero. So Explorer, you can pretty much upgrade Explorer gear with just the Flight Stones. Adventurer is the Adventurer. You can also use Flight Stones for the lower levels. But then the Whelpling Shadowflame Crest are going to be used for the higher level Adventurer gear and to upgrade the lower level Veteran gear.
So real quick.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly what it was, but I'll touch on it when we're done this topic as well. But there's a weekly to get a 415. I upgraded that to a 421 weapon on my hunter, using the mats from this new zone as well.
And then, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure the item level things on the different ranks of gear. But yeah, I know 450 is our max item level. That's going to be top gear, probably. But no, so then after the Whelpling Shadowflame Crest, we have the Drake's Shadowflame Crest. So that's kind of tier 2 of the Shadowflame Crest. Those are used to upgrade higher level Veteran gear and lower level Champion gear. That'll come from normal raid bosses, level 6 to 10 Mythic Plus, and weekly events in the cavern, in Derelict Cavern. And then also that does have fragments that you can buy and loan. On top of that, that will have the Worm's Shadowflame Crest. Those are the more difficult ones to get. That'll be for to upgrade higher level Champion gear and the lower level Hero gear. It also can be used to craft optional reagents for crafted gear to upgrade gear with that as well. Those are from Heroic Raid, the 10 to 15 range on Mythic Plus, and that's about it. And then you have the Aspects Shadowflame Crest, which is the top tier for the Shadowflame Crest, and those you can upgrade hero gear up to, looks like level 441 is the max you can use these to upgrade to, which is still really strong. 441 eye level is like beginning, I believe that's like this first couple bosses in raid. You want to look that up real quick on there and see what gear the raid bosses drop?
Yeah.
I think 441.
What am I
just the Mythic, the first level drop. Like which part of Mythic Raid drops 441? Which bosses? The first couple, or is that middle tier?
Oh, I can look in game, right?
Yes. Yeah. In-game.
Okay, yeah, do that real quick. Dragonflight, Avarice, Loot, Mythic. So what are you looking for? 441?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going through 447, 418. 444.
On Mythic Raid, like what do the first bosses drop on Mythic Raid?
The first boss drops 441.
Okay, so that's equivalent to what we can upgrade hero gear to then.
Okay.
So through the upgrade system, you can get the equivalent of the first few bosses, the 441 item level. So that's going to be pretty strong, honestly. Now the Aspect Shadowflame Crest, you will get that from killing bosses on Mythic Raid, or Dragonflight Mythic Plus dungeons from level 16 and higher. So, I mean, it's pretty doable, honestly, to get that stuff. I think that's definitely going to be our goal, is to at least be getting those upgrades, so we can upgrade stuff at 441. Yeah. That's, I think that's going to be pretty... I am excited with the system. I think it's going to be interesting. It's a little more complex than what people are used to, but I think once you get the hang of it, it's really not going to be that difficult to figure out. It's basically the higher level content you do, the better you're going to be able to upgrade your gear. And I think that's a good way of doing it. But I also like that you can upgrade gear from anything. Just even if it's only a lower level. Like, basically, you said you got yours to 421. What you upgraded?
Yes, and I could upgrade it more if I had more of the stuff.
Got you. Yeah, because I think so Drake's Shadowflame Crest, you're going to be able to do basically, let's put it this way. If you don't do any raid or any Mythic Plus at all, you will still be able to get Drake's Shadowflank Crest. I don't know exactly how high of an item level that gets you to, but I'm gonna guess probably like a 430 item level, maybe somewhere in that range. So I mean, even if you were to not play any Mythic Plus or any raid, you could technically probably still get everything like 430 item level, which is pretty strong, honestly. But even if you do low level raids or low level Mythic Plus, normal and heroic raid, you'll be able to get pretty good gear. So I think it's going to be a nice system. Also, one other thing that they mentioned. Let me see if I can find this again. Okay, so also, there is a 150 crest fragment cap per week. So, so it sounds like you'll be able to get 15 crests per week. However, any crests that you receive for like quests or stuff are not going to count towards that cap. So you can have more than that. It's just as far as gaining stuff through like Mythic Plus or raids, those you'll only be able to get once per week. If it comes as a reward for a quest, like a campaign quest or whatever, then it's not going to count towards that.
Okay.
Also, if you look into your statistics tab of your achievements window, you'll be able to see how many fragments you've earned towards your cap. So that's a nice little way to be able to check that. And then there's one other thing I wanted to go over on this. Where was this? There it is. All right. So once you've gotten a piece of gear upgraded, every character on your account will get a 50% discount to the flight stone cost when you're upgrading until you reach that highest item level. So let's say you get a weapon, let's go with a chest. Let's say you get a chest piece and it is 438 item level. For every other character on your account, any chest that is below 438, the flight stone part of the cost to upgrade it will be half of the normal cost until you reach that 438. So that's a nice way, kind of a little built-in catch-up mechanic. And then also, if it is the same character, so let's say it's the same character and I get a 438 chest piece, but it's not my best in slot. And then let's say next week I get a 421 chest piece, and that is my best in slot. To upgrade it, it'll be half the flight stones, and it will not require a crest. So you won't have to waste. You only have to spend crest on your main character to actually upgrade to a level you haven't gotten to. So you'll easily be able to catch up your gear if you find your best in slot later in the season and you want to upgrade it. It'll be super cheap and easy to upgrade that really quickly.
Right.
So I think that's another excellent thing, because I've got a couple pieces of gear just with Valor and stuff where my best in slot, I got like last couple weeks of the season I got it, but I just don't have the Valor to upgrade it, and I couldn't upgrade it. So I think that's going to be really nice to be able to get a nice catch-up mechanic built in. So what are your thoughts on this upgrade system? Good chance.
Like I was saying before, it was nice catch up. Like I upgraded my weapon from 415 to a 421. It took like 2 upgrades. So that was pretty cool, and it was pretty easy to get the stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. As someone that tends to play a lot of alts, I think it's kind of nice.
Great.
So yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Now, here's a question for you. That world quest was heroic. You had to do heroic dungeons, correct?
Yeah, just heroic dungeons. Yeah.
Did the loot that you got from those heroic dungeons was that not from like the request reward, but the loot from the heroic dungeon? Were those pieces of gear upgradable?
No, they were not.
Okay, so maybe that won't start until tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I was curious where, um, where that was going to be. So, because it says that you'll be able to optimize and upgrade pretty much any gear you acquired during the season, but that's why I was thinking it may not start until season 2 begins,
Right.
which makes sense. But it's also a good idea. You know, we only have a couple hours. By the time people are listening to this, the new season will start anyway. But might be a good idea to, if you're wanting to, stock up on flight stones, good time to do it. Get capped out at 2,000 real quick, and that way tomorrow you can get some gear and immediately upgrade it to whatever the max is in flight stones upgrades.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a list of like how high stuff can be upgraded to. It looks like Explorer gear can go to 398. Champion can go to 437. 415 to 437. So I think Champion's the higher. So I'm not sure. Adventure would be what Adventure would be.
Wait, what does it start at?
Yeah, are you at an up? Can you go? Are you near an upgrade vendor?
No.
Okay.
But the gear I think goes from 377 to 398.
Yeah, that's the Flight Stone one.
Yeah.
Jump in. You go ahead. So what do you think about all this? Like, you think it'll be easy to get these items, or difficult as far as like the Shadow Flame crest? Like, I don't think they've listed really how much are going to drop from each dungeon and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, like I said, I think it's good. It's a cool kind of new way. I think it's good for the game to be alt friendly.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's going to definitely be really alt friendly. That's one thing I'm really liking about it. Having the 50% discount on the flight stones. I do wish the 50% discount counted towards like the crests as well. But either way, I think it is going to be helpful. I really like that like it's going to be easy. You don't have to worry so much about, oh, this piece of gear isn't my best in slot, so I shouldn't upgrade it. Because that's one thing for me that happened was my Valor. I only spent Valor on best in slot items. I've done that for the last couple expansions that we've had. The last couple seasons that we've had Valor for, I've only spent it on best in slot gear because I didn't want to waste it. I think this system, because there's not going to be a crest cost to upgrade pieces to the same item level as what you've got, I think it's going to be really helpful because you don't have to hesitate. Because flight stones seem like they're just about going to be an almost infinite source. Which is good. Because that means you can upgrade really quickly.
Let's
see, I'm almost at the upgrade vendor. Well, I'm at the Shadowlands upgrade vendor. We'll see if that vendor works for upgrading this stuff.
It should.
I believe it does. I just want to see the item level so we can get some information for you guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious how high up the Drake crests go. That's what I kind of want to know. Of course, granted, I don't know if it'll show me if I don't have any gear. They might run into that.
That is true. I mean, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of wandering around aimlessly, keeping kind of focused, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have any gear that I can even upgrade other than adventurer level. There's a veteran piece. All right, so veteran will go up to 424.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Cause I thought there was one more that I couldn't afford.
Yeah, that is the Whelpling Shadowflame crest for the lower level. So that's the next step. There's adventurer, then the veteran. Let me see here. This was the picture that they showed was the champion, which there's adventurer, there's explorer, adventurer. Explorer goes to 398. The champion, I think I have champion. Or adventure, I mean. Adventurer goes to 411, from 389 to 411.
Okay.
And then the veteran goes from 402 to 424. So that should be fairly easy to get. You can get 424 gear without doing Mythic Plus or Raid, for
Which
sure.
is really nice.
And then the last level, or not the last level, but the champion gear goes to 437. So you'll be able to get like probably to 430, 428 maybe, without having to do that, because I know the Drake crest will drop from weekly events that are out in the world, not just from Mythic Plus and Raid. You just won't get them as often.
Right.
But you could theoretically upgrade stuff to like 430 without doing Mythic Plus or Raid. Or not necessarily 430, but like 428, somewhere in that range. I don't know exactly where that cutoff's going to be, but I know you can do the Drake ones are used for early champion level, and champion level goes from 415 to 437.
Oh, I like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say for sure 424. You can get 424 gear without doing any kind of Mythic Plus or Raid, because you'll get a lot of that from World Quests and stuff. So that's a decent upgrade. Get 424. It's a good way to be able to get started and get into keys and stuff and get lower level keys, especially if you've never done keys before. You know, now's a good time to get some decent gear, because while keys, you know, while you can absolutely go in at 400 item level and go in and do Mythic Plus low level keys if you're good, if you've not done keys before and you're a beginner and you're new to keys, having that extra item level cushion is going to help you feel a little more confident and a little more safe in there.
Yes.
So, you know, it's a good way to dip your toe in for the first time if you haven't already. But I'm liking the new upgrade system. I think it'll be good. I'm curious to see what kind of rate the crests and stuff, the fragments drop from Mythic Plus, to see how long it takes to get enough in there. I don't think I saw anything in the article as far as how many drop from the dungeons. I haven't seen anything. Yeah, they haven't said anything as far as how many is going to drop. But hopefully we get full crests from the dungeons and not crest fragments.
True.
But either way, there's going to be a cap of 15, basically 15 full crests, because it's, or no, 10 full crests, because it's 15 fragments to make one crest. There's 150 crest fragments cap. Now, that cap is going to increase as the season goes on. So, you know, week 2 of the season, you'll be able to do 300 crests, so you'll have that catch-up mechanic as well. It'll be similar, the cap for that will be similar to how Valor was. So as far as, you know, how many you're able to upgrade. As far as upgrade cost, the higher level of the tiers is going to cost multiple fragments. Sometimes some, you know, might be 2 different types of fragments as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm looking forward to it. It's something different. It's a nice little experiment. I know I mentioned this last week. They have not committed to using this system for Season 3, because this is their test run of this. They want to see how it goes. And then if it goes well, then we'll probably see it continue on. If it doesn't go well, then they might look into something else, revert it back to Valor. I don't know. We'll just have to. They're going to wait for the feedback and see. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. What was your week in WoW like, Bio? What have you been up to?
I really didn't play that much other than just doing transmog farming.
You did a lot of transmog farming.
Yeah, I did a lot of transmog. I like doing it. I like collecting gear. So that's always fun for me, something to do when don't have anything else to do. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm not technically in WoW, but I've been watching tons of streams and watching videos and people's opinions on different classes, just to kind of get an understanding of what the season might hold.
Right.
But there's I'm definitely gonna be playing a lot more. Obviously, at the start of the season, not just doing transmog runs. That's really all I've been doing all week. I haven't done like dungeon.
Yeah, you did a lot of heroic dungeons.
I did. Yeah, I did the heroic dungeons on a lot of tunes for the gear because might as well. It's a free 415 piece.
I think that's what I'm gonna do after we finish this.
Yeah, I got to do some more, so we can definitely run some. But if you're listening to this, you probably already missed it if you haven't done it.
Right.
Because it's not going to be here next week, I don't think.
Yeah, I doubt it.
So, but another thing that's pretty cool is that, like, depending if you have those mats, you could upgrade gear you get from this quest. Because that's what I did with my hunter. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, week in WoW, just a lot of transmog farming, weekly chest farming, and that's it.
Nice. As for myself, I pretty much spent all week prepping for the speed run and practicing for the speed run. I think I did about probably, I don't know, 5 different runs through Elwyn Forest to test stuff there, and then did a level 40 run right before. I literally did a 10 to 40 speed run right before the 10 to 70 speed run. I finished it 20 minutes before I started the actual speed run because I was trying to test stuff out, test the theory out.
Yeah.
The theory did not work out. So it was a waste of time, unfortunately. I guess it's not a waste of time because it kept me from doing that mistake in the actual speed run. But then I think I did a 10 or a 1 to like 69. I got to level 69 on the monk on a monk. I did that earlier in the week. I probably should finish that one off and just hit 70 real quick on him. And then of course after the speed run, I was kicking myself in the butt because I don't know how this slipped past me. I guess there's no Wowhead article on or anything. I just didn't notice it. But we got upgrades to the heirlooms, and the heirlooms are now usable all the way up to level 69. So, like, what? I went for like the first from 60 to like 65. I didn't have anything but my old heirloom leg piece on, so I was like sitting with a 183 item level on my legs, and I could have had decent gear the entire time. So next speed run, I've got that in mind. Now, that being said, the crafted gear is still better. I'll have to see what the heirloom item level is at 369. But the crafted gear, there's like 6 or 7 pieces of crafted gear you can make or buy that you can wear as level 61, and it is automatically 319 gear. It is amazing. Great catch-up gear. Makes it super easy to level. So that gear is still the best gear for those slots. Which I think that's helm if you're engineering, necklace. I think the cloak and chest. Bracers, I believe, or maybe gloves. Either bracers or gloves, one or the other. I don't remember which. Might be gloves. And then I think there's a ring, and I want to say a belt. I think those are the pieces you can upgrade. So really the heirloom gear is only going to be useful for a second ring and the legs, because the heirloom is just helm, shoulders, chest. I guess shoulders, they'll be good for shoulders because there was no upgrade, there was no crafting piece for shoulders. So they'll be good for shoulders. So the heirlooms are helm, shoulders, chest, cloak. There is a necklace, but again, the 316 is better. 319 is better. Then there's legs, ring, and then trinkets. You can get 2 trinkets. Trinkets is going to be nice because trinkets is something that's hard to get in the when you're actually leveling and doing a speed run. Trinkets are not easy to come by. So having the trinkets is nice. Also because those trinkets that I use particularly, every time you kill an enemy, I gain 4% health. So that is also
big pulls.
Yes, that's also very helpful there, just to get some self-healing. But no, I'm looking forward to next month's speed run because we're gonna have a 50% experience bonus from the Diablo event, and so I'll be able to get 80% XP bonus for my run, and I'm hoping sub 6 hours. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to do 5.5 is gonna be probably the goal. And maybe we beat 5 hours. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that run though. That's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a fast
Yeah.
run. But anyway, that's about all I've been doing. Now that I've finished my speedrun, I can actually start focusing on season 2. Because I know when I was prepping and stuff, Lynch kept asking me questions about, oh, what about this for season 2? And I'm like, I have no idea, because all I've done is look at speedruns. Like, all I've been doing is gearing up for the speedrun. This is my mentality, this is my focus. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about season 2. I will know in a couple days. But yeah, no, when I'm speedrunning, my focus is 100% on that, because it takes all my focus to make sure that I'm not missing the beat on stuff. Which we did miss the 8-hour mark, but I was still happy with the time.
Yeah.
Mainly because I know I easily could do 8 hours, because there's 2 mistakes that I made that immediately cost. Well, one was a mistake, one I can't control. But 2 things that happened that immediately cost about 6 or 7 minutes. One, I went to I used my mole machine and to go to Iron Forge without actually grabbing my fast flying. So then I had to go back to Stormwind, and then I had to fly, which takes about 2 minutes to fly from Stormwind to Lochmoden. So that cost me probably about 3 minutes right there. And then on top of that, just bad luck, RNG. Can't really control it or do anything about it. Although I did actually have a thought on it. But when I went to the boat to get to Valdrakken, the boat was a 4-minute wait time. Now, something I need to test is, if that happens, can I take the portal to Valdrakken? That's what I'm not sure. I don't know if I could take. I don't know if the portal is activated until you've actually gone through or not. I think it's just a level requirement, so I might be able to take the portal to Valdrakken and not have to take the boat.
Yeah.
So that's something I need to test out for future runs. But yeah, I think you could easily shave off 10 minutes of speedrun and knock that below 8 hours. Then after that, it's just a matter of figuring out my my starting area a bit better, because I didn't like how Elwyn Forest went. I think it was probably the best run that I'd had in Elwyn Forest, but I still didn't like it because it took the same amount of time as my Demon Hunter took to get to level 20. So I think I should be hitting level 20 within like 45 minutes, not an hour. But we'll see. Anyway, you got anything else you want to add on? Anything you want to talk about?
Nope. Next episode probably have a lot of content, so make sure to tune in for that.
Yes. If I'm not working too much and sleeping all the time, then yes.
True. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. If you want to leave a comment on the YouTube channel, Buckblind and Demon Hunters YouTube channel this was posted on, feel free to give us your thoughts on what has happened for 10.1 so far, what you think, what your opinion of the upgrade system is, or anything we talked about. Throw your thoughts out there. Give us some comments, some likes, subscribe, whatever. You can also catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Buckblind, or on Twitter. I'm somewhat active on Twitter, BuckblindDH. Bio, what about you?
QQ_Bioshock for Twitch and YouTube.
And he's been streaming pretty regularly. He likes to stream while I'm at work so that I can be entertained.
Yeah,
so,
I did. So yeah, I'll probably be doing a lot of BGs in my free time to get fully geared on tunes.
Nice.
I'll be streaming. I'll stream some of that when we're not doing mythics.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know that I'll do any PvP stuff until my work schedule switches back to my normal schedule. Then after that, I definitely want to dip my toe in some PvP stuff with it. I just don't know that I have time for it with my current schedule.
Yeah. I'm just it's kind of random thought, but I kind of looked into it. Your honor cap is 15,000. You need about 12,000 for a full set of gear, so it's not too bad. You can get it done in a day if you're playing for a couple hours.
Nice. But all right, so I think that's just about it.
Yep.
And again, like and subscribe to the video. It's up on the YouTube channel every time we post it. So give us some likes and subscribes, and we'll have a lot more videos out. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and appreciate all of you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.